The evening air was crisp as I approached Riverton High School, the familiar brick facade standing proudly against the twilight sky. It had been 30 years since I had walked these halls, and the memories flooded back like a tidal wave. I could almost hear the echoes of laughter and the whispers of teenage dreams that had once filled these spaces. Tonight was the night of our class reunion, a chance to reconnect with old friends and relive the past. As I stepped inside the gymnasium, I was greeted by a transformation that took my breath away. The once bare walls were adorned with colorful banners and photographs from our high school days, capturing moments frozen in time. Tables were draped in white linens, and twinkling fairy lights hung from the ceiling, casting a warm glow over the room. The scent of freshly baked goods wafted through the air, mingling with the sound of laughter and chatter. I took a deep breath, my heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. Would anyone remember me? Would I recognize the faces of those I had once called friends? As I scanned the room, I felt a wave of nostalgia wash over me. There was Lisa, my best friend, laughing with her husband, and over there was Mark, the class clown, still cracking jokes. But it was when my eyes landed on the punch bowl that my heart truly skipped a beat. Standing there, casually chatting with a group of classmates, was Tom, my first love. Time had etched its marks on his face, but his smile was just as warm and inviting as I remembered. My stomach fluttered with a mix of excitement and apprehension. What would I say to him after all these years? Gathering my courage, I made my way toward him, the sounds of the reunion fading into the background. As I approached, he turned, and our eyes met. For a moment, the world around us disappeared, and it felt as if we were the only two people in the room. "Sarah," he said, his voice filled with surprise and delight. "I can't believe it's you." "Tom," I replied, a smile spreading across my face. "It's been so long." We embraced, and I felt a rush of warmth as I inhaled the familiar scent of his cologne. It was as if no time had passed at all. We stepped back, taking each other in, and I couldn't help but notice how his eyes still sparkled with the same mischief that had drawn me to him all those years ago. "How have you been?" he asked, genuine curiosity in his voice. "I've been good," I replied, my heart racing. "I moved to the city after college, got married, and had 2 kids. They're both in college now. What about you?" Tom nodded, his expression thoughtful. "I stayed here in Riverton. I've been working at my dad's construction company. I got married too, but, well, it didn't last. I have a daughter, though. She's in high school now." As we talked, the years melted away, and we found ourselves reminiscing about our high school days, the awkward dances, the late-night study sessions, and, of course, our unforgettable prom night. I could see the memories reflected in his eyes, and I felt a warmth spreading through me, a connection that had never truly faded. "Do you remember that night at prom?" I asked, laughing. "You were so nervous to ask me to dance." Tom chuckled, his cheeks flushing slightly. "I was terrified, but I'm glad I did. It was one of the best nights of my life." We continued to share stories, laughter filling the space between us. It felt so natural, so easy, as if we had never been apart. But as the night wore on, I began to sense a shift in the atmosphere. I could see Tom glancing around the room, and I wondered if he was searching for someone. Just then, he turned to me, his expression serious. "Sarah, there's something I need to tell you." My heart raced, anticipation building. Was he going to say what I hoped he would? Would he confess that he had never stopped thinking about me? But as he opened his mouth to speak, I noticed a woman approaching us from across the room. She was beautiful, with long dark hair and a warm smile. My heart sank as I realized who she was, Tom's wife. "Tom," she called out, her voice cheerful. "There you are. I've been looking for you." He turned to her, a smile breaking across his face. "Hey, honey. I was just catching up with Sarah." The twist hit me like a punch to the gut. Tom was married, and here I was, lost in the nostalgia of our past. I forced a smile, trying to mask the disappointment that threatened to overwhelm me. The woman approached us, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Hi. You must be Sarah. I've heard so much about you," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Lisa." I shook her hand, forcing a smile as I tried to process the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside me. "It's nice to meet you, Lisa," I replied, my voice steady despite the sudden shift in the atmosphere. Tom looked between us, his expression a mix of pride and awkwardness. "We were just reminiscing about old times," he said, his tone light, but I could sense the tension beneath it. "Ah, the good old days," Lisa said, her smile brightening. "Tom has told me all about his high school sweetheart. It's great to finally put a face to the name." I felt a pang of nostalgia mixed with a hint of sadness. The warmth I had felt just moments ago began to fade, replaced by the reality of the situation. Tom and I had shared something special, but that was in the past. He had moved on, and so had I. "Yeah, those were some fun times," I said, trying to keep my tone upbeat. "It's great to see you both happy." As the three of us chatted, I could see the love and camaraderie between Tom and Lisa. They shared inside jokes and exchanged glances that spoke volumes. It was clear they had built a life together, and I couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy. I had once imagined a future with Tom, but life had taken us in different directions. "Are you still painting?" Tom asked, his eyes lighting up with genuine interest. "I remember how passionate you were about it." I nodded, grateful for the opportunity to share a piece of my life. "Yes, I've been working on a few projects. I even have a small gallery showing next month." "That's amazing!" Lisa exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. "You should invite us. We'd love to see your work." "Absolutely," I replied, feeling a flicker of hope. Maybe this reunion wasn't just about the past. Perhaps it could be about forging new connections as well. As the night continued, I found myself drifting between conversations with old friends and moments spent with Tom and Lisa. I could see the bond they shared, and while it stung a little, I also felt a sense of closure. Tom had moved on, and so had I. But just as I was beginning to accept this new reality, Tom pulled me aside for a moment of privacy. "Sarah, I want you to know that seeing you tonight has brought back so many memories," he said, his voice low and sincere. "You were my first love, and you'll always hold a special place in my heart." I felt a rush of warmth at his words, but I also knew the truth. "And you'll always be mine, Tom. But we both have our lives now. It's good to see you happy." He nodded, a hint of sadness in his eyes. "I wish things had turned out differently, but I'm grateful for the time we had." Just then, Lisa called out to us, her laughter ringing through the air. "Come on, you two. We need to take a group photo." As we joined the others, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The past was a beautiful memory, but the present was where I needed to focus. I smiled for the camera, standing between Tom and Lisa, and in that moment, I realized that love doesn't always mean being together. Sometimes, it's about cherishing the memories and celebrating the paths we've chosen. As the night came to a close, I exchanged hugs and goodbyes with my classmates, feeling a sense of fulfillment. I had come to the reunion seeking closure, and I had found it, not just with Tom, but with my own journey. Walking back to my car, I took a deep breath, feeling lighter than I had in years. The reunion had reminded me of the beauty of first love, but it had also shown me the importance of moving forward. I was ready to embrace the next chapter of my life, knowing that the past would always be a cherished part of who I was. As I drove home, the streets of Riverton glimmered under the soft glow of streetlights, each familiar turn evoking memories of my youth. The reunion had stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me, and I found myself reflecting on the choices I had made over the past 30 years. Tom had been my first love, a whirlwind romance that had shaped my teenage years. We had shared dreams of the future, but life had taken us down different paths. I thought about my own journey, my marriage, the joys of raising my children, and the bittersweet moments of letting them go as they ventured into adulthood. Each experience had contributed to the person I had become, and I felt a sense of gratitude for the life I had built. Arriving home, I parked the car and sat for a moment, taking in the quiet of the night. The house was dark, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the reunion. I stepped inside, the familiar creak of the floorboards beneath my feet grounding me. I flipped on the light, and the warmth of my home enveloped me. As I moved through the house, I noticed the framed photographs lining the walls, pictures of my children at various stages of their lives, their smiles capturing moments of pure joy. I paused at a photo of my husband and me on our wedding day, our faces beaming with love and hope. It was a reminder of the life we had built together, filled with laughter, challenges, and growth. But as I settled onto the couch, I couldn't shake the feeling of nostalgia that lingered from the reunion. I picked up my phone and scrolled through my contacts, hesitating for a moment before tapping on Tom's name. I had promised to invite him and Lisa to my gallery showing, and I felt a surge of excitement at the thought of reconnecting again. With a deep breath, I typed out a message. "Hi Tom. It was so great to see you at the reunion. I'd love for you and Lisa to come to my gallery showing next month. It would mean a lot to me to have you there. Hope to hear from you soon." I hit send, my heart racing as I set the phone down. I knew it was a small step, but it felt significant. I was opening a door to a new chapter, one that could include Tom in a different capacity, one of friendship and shared appreciation for the arts. The next few weeks flew by in a blur of preparations for the gallery showing. I poured my heart into my artwork, each brushstroke a reflection of my journey. I found solace in painting, a way to express the emotions that had been stirred within me. The pieces I created were vibrant and full of life, capturing the essence of love, loss, and the beauty of new beginnings. As the day of the showing approached, I felt a mix of excitement and nerves. I had invited several friends and family members, but the thought of Tom and Lisa attending added an extra layer of anticipation. I wanted them to see the passion I had for my art, to understand how it had been a part of my healing journey. The night of the gallery showing arrived, and I stood in front of the entrance, my heart pounding with anticipation. The gallery was filled with soft music, and the walls were adorned with my paintings, each one telling a story of its own. I had worked tirelessly to prepare for this moment, and now it was finally here. As guests began to arrive, I greeted them with a smile, my excitement bubbling over. Friends and family mingled, admiring the artwork and sharing their thoughts. I felt a sense of pride as I watched them engage with my pieces, each conversation a reminder of the journey I had taken to get to this point. Then, just as I was beginning to feel at ease, I spotted Tom and Lisa entering the gallery. My heart raced as I made my way toward them, eager to share this moment with them. "Tom, Lisa, I'm so glad you could make it," I exclaimed, my smile genuine. "Sarah, this is incredible," Tom said, his eyes wide with admiration as he took in the vibrant colors and intricate details of my work. "You've really outdone yourself." "Thank you. It means so much to have you here," I replied, feeling a warmth spread through me. Lisa stepped closer, her eyes sparkling. "I love this piece," she said, pointing to a painting that depicted a sunset over a tranquil lake. "It's so peaceful." "That one is about finding calm in the chaos of life," I explained, feeling a connection with them as we discussed the meaning behind my work. As the evening progressed, I found myself lost in conversation with Tom and Lisa. We laughed, shared stories, and reminisced about our high school days. The initial awkwardness that had lingered at the reunion melted away, replaced by a sense of camaraderie and warmth. It felt as if we were weaving a new tapestry of friendship, one that honored our shared past while embracing the present. "Tell me more about your journey as an artist," Tom encouraged, his genuine interest evident. "I remember how passionate you were about painting back in school." I smiled, grateful for the opportunity to share my story. After college, I took a break to focus on my family. But once the kids were older, I rediscovered my love for art. It became my outlet, a way to express everything I had experienced over the years. As I spoke, I could see the admiration in their eyes, and it filled me with a sense of purpose. Each piece I create is a reflection of my journey, my joys, my struggles, and the lessons I've learned along the way. It's therapeutic for me. Lisa nodded, her expression thoughtful. "I can see that in your work. It's so vibrant and full of life. You have a real gift, Sarah." "Thank you," I replied, feeling a blush creep to my cheeks. "It's been a long road, but I'm finally embracing it." As the night wore on, I noticed how Tom and Lisa interacted with each other. Their connection was palpable, filled with laughter and shared glances that spoke volumes. I felt a sense of happiness for them, knowing that they had built a life together. Yet, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of longing for the connection Tom and I once shared. Just then, a couple of my friends approached, eager to introduce themselves to Tom and Lisa. I stepped back, allowing them to mingle, and took a moment to breathe. I wandered over to one of my paintings, a piece that depicted a couple walking hand in hand under a starlit sky. It was a representation of love and connection, and I found myself lost in its beauty. "Is this one about you and Tom?" a voice asked, pulling me from my thoughts. I turned to see Lisa standing beside me, her expression curious. I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. "It's more about the idea of love and connection," I said carefully. "But yes, it does reflect the feelings I had for him back in the day." Lisa smiled knowingly. "It's beautiful. You have a way of capturing emotions in your art. I can see why Tom was drawn to you." Her words surprised me, and I felt a mix of gratitude and vulnerability. "Thank you, Lisa. That means a lot coming from you." As the evening continued, I found myself stealing glances at Tom, who was animatedly discussing one of my pieces with a group of guests. He looked so at ease, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. He had always been passionate about art, and seeing him appreciate my work brought back fond memories of our shared dreams. Eventually, the crowd began to thin, and I felt a sense of fulfillment wash over me. The gallery showing had been a success, and I had reconnected with two important people from my past. As I gathered my things, I noticed Tom approaching me, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Sarah, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you," he said, his voice sincere. "You've really come into your own as an artist. It's inspiring to see." "Thank you, Tom," I replied, my heart swelling with emotion. "It means a lot to hear that from you." He hesitated for a moment, as if weighing his words. "I know we've both moved on, but I want you to know that I'll always cherish the memories we shared. You were my first love, and that will never change." I felt a lump in my throat, the weight of his words settling in my heart. "And you'll always hold a special place in mine, Tom. I'm grateful for the time we had together." Just then, Lisa joined us, her smile bright. "Are you two ready to head out? I think we should celebrate your success, Sarah." I nodded, feeling a sense of warmth enveloping me. As we stepped outside into the cool night air, I realized that this reunion had not only rekindled old memories but had also opened the door to new possibilities. As we walked to the parking lot, I felt a sense of hope for the future. I had embraced my past, celebrated my present, and was ready to see where life would take me next. The night had been a beautiful reminder that love, in all its forms, could be cherished and celebrated, even if it wasn't meant to last forever. In the weeks that followed the gallery showing, I found myself reflecting on the connections I had rekindled. Tom and Lisa had become a part of my life again, and I felt a sense of joy in knowing that we could share our experiences, even if they were different from what I had once imagined. After the showing, Tom and I exchanged messages, sharing thoughts about art and life. He expressed interest in visiting my studio, and I was thrilled at the prospect of showing him my creative space. It felt like a bridge between our past and present, a way to explore the friendship that had blossomed from our reunion. One sunny Saturday afternoon, I invited Tom to my home. I had spent the morning tidying up my studio, making sure it was a welcoming space. The walls were adorned with my latest works, and the scent of fresh paint lingered in the air. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as I prepared for his arrival. When Tom arrived, he stepped into the studio with a look of awe. "Wow, Sarah! This is incredible," he said, taking in the vibrant colors and the energy of the space. "You've really created something special here." "Thank you. I love it," I replied, feeling a sense of pride. "It's my sanctuary, where I can express myself freely." As we walked through the studio, I shared the stories behind my paintings, explaining the emotions and experiences that inspired each piece. Tom listened intently, his enthusiasm infectious. We laughed and reminisced, and I felt the connection between us deepen. "Do you remember that time we tried to paint that mural in the art room?" Tom asked, a mischievous grin on his face. "We ended up getting more paint on ourselves than the wall." I laughed, the memory flooding back. "Yes. I think we spent more time cleaning up than actually painting. But it was so much fun." As the afternoon wore on, we found ourselves sitting on the floor, surrounded by canvases and brushes. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and I felt a sense of comfort in his presence. It was as if the years had melted away, and we were once again the carefree teenagers who had shared dreams and laughter. "Sarah, I've been thinking," Tom said, his tone shifting slightly. "I know we've both moved on, but I can't help but feel that there's something special between us. I don't want to rush anything, but I'd love to explore this connection further." My heart raced at his words. I had felt the same pull, the undeniable chemistry that had always existed between us. But I also knew the importance of taking things slow. I feel it too, Tom. But I think we should take our time. We both have our lives, and I want to make sure we're approaching this with open hearts. He nodded, a look of understanding in his eyes. I agree. I just wanted to be honest about how I feel. I've missed you, and I think we could create something beautiful together. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the studio, I felt a sense of hope blossoming within me. This was a new beginning, a chance to explore a friendship that could evolve into something more. I was ready to embrace the possibilities, knowing that whatever happened, I had the strength to navigate it. Over the next few months, Tom and I spent more time together, exploring art galleries, attending local events, and sharing our lives. We discovered new layers to each other, and the bond we had formed deepened. Lisa was supportive of our friendship, and I appreciated her kindness and understanding. One evening, as we strolled through a local art festival, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. The vibrant colors of the artwork around us mirrored the joy I felt in my heart. Tom reached for my hand, intertwining our fingers, and I looked up at him, surprised but delighted. "Is this okay?" he asked, his voice soft. I smiled, feeling a rush of warmth. "Yes, it is." As we walked hand in hand, I realized that life had a way of bringing people back together, even after years apart. The love I had once felt for Tom had transformed into a deep friendship, and now it was blossoming into something new and beautiful.